According to Professor Emeritus at UCLA, Albert Mayburn, 55% of communication is body language, 38% of communication is through tone and register, and only 7% is content. Now, Professor Mayburn's study looked mainly at face-to-face communication channel within storytelling, but I still think that 93% of communication being nonverbal is really important to look at because people are not listening to what you say, they're listening to how you say it. Welcome to week 3. We're starting into unit 2. That means that you're 25% of the way through the course already. This is a heavy reading unit. You'll be reading chapters 3 through 6. You have your 2 discussions that open on Mondays of your 2 weeks, and then they're due on the Thursdays, and then with 2 responses due on Sundays. And then you'll have your regular scheduled quiz as well. But what you need to be focusing on for now, the other assignments, is your group presentation and your oral speech as well. You can find both of these by clicking this link, People. After you click that, it'll open to this page, and then go to the top tab. You'll see your group project presentation group, so locate that, see where your name is in these. And then at the bottom, this is a self-sign-up for your research oral presentation day. So this is self-sign-up. You can sign up yourself. This has been announced in previous weeks, but I see only 12 students have signed up. So please sign up yourself. If you don't want to, I guess I can sign you up for you, but this is a way for you to have a voice in what time slot works the best for you. After you've located what group you're in, go into modules. You'll see in Unit 2, a group presentation PowerPoint is what I want to highlight for you right now. So you can read the instructions up here, but your first thing that you'll want to discuss with your group is after you've located what group you're in, say I'm in group 1, I see that I've been assigned the broad interpersonal concept of self-disclosure. Now, if my group decided to do their whole assignment on self-disclosure, you're missing the point here. Your job is to narrow it down to a specific context. So in the past, people that have been given self-disclosure as the broad umbrella concept have focused it into self-disclosure on first dates. So they looked at what is proper to self-disclose on a first date. And then let's say my group is in group 4, intercultural communication. Past groups have done things on collectivism versus individualism in Disney movies. So they looked at how Mulan, for example, was in China, which is a collectivist culture, and she was doing things for the good of her community and culture, whereas something like Cinderella, that was an individualistic culture, and she was doing things for the good of her, basically. All right, so you can read through that. Your job is to focus in on a specific context. You can see some examples here. You'll be doing this assignment on a PowerPoint. You can work in Google Slides or Prezi or whatever your group decides to work with, but in the end, it does need to be in a PowerPoint file before it's turned into me. References, a minimum of 3 references are required in the presentation. 2 need to be scholarly sources. For scholarly sources, they are written for an academic audience and often peer-reviewed. If you have a question on what scholarly sources are, you can look at this link here. But the best place to find scholarly sources are within City College database. Formatting needs to be an APA for your reference page. You need to have that in APA, and then in-text citations are very important. This is going to be used, the audio recording function in PowerPoint. If you have a question on how to do that, it's here. So a really important section on this is that you need to have closed captioning within the notes of your PowerPoint. I would get started on this as soon as possible. You can choose how to communicate your adult learners. So if you want to meet in person at a public place, like at a Starbucks or something, you decide that. If you want to communicate over Skype or email, you decide that it's a group. But you do need to conduct yourself like professional adult learners. I unfortunately have to say this because in the past there have been some instances where people have not conducted themselves like professional adults. And please know that I take that very seriously. And if you do use explicit language directed at somebody else, or you choose to bully or something, like you'll be kicked out of the group and further action might be taken. So just conduct yourself like adult learners. I know with group projects, sometimes people have had bad experiences before, and sometimes people have had good experiences where they create lifelong friends. So I'm hoping for the latter here. I hope this is an opportunity for you to really connect with some people in this class. Look at the group presentation rubric as well. Something else I wanted to highlight is the sample, which is available to you. So this is a prior group. If you click on that, it'll come up. This is a prior group who has done this assignment before. So I'm going to just play this for you really quickly.
Conversational narcissism. How to avoid it in your... So what is conversational narcissism?
So in your time, pull that up and kind of go through it. This group does some things that are really great, and they do some things that are not so great. So for example, you'll see an in-text citation here, which is great. But this has way too much text on this slide. In fact, I would even take this out and then just make this picture a lot bigger. You want to do this as if, design this slide as if you were doing this speech. You don't want to have overload on your PowerPoint slides of text because then people will be trying to read the text instead of listening to what you're saying. So it's really obnoxious. But you'll see in the points below, this is where you're closed captioning or typing out exactly everything that you're saying. You don't want to have everything that you're saying on a slide. That would be ridiculous. We all know you know how to read. We know that, so just put it here where you would be using your notes. So they do a good job of providing a lot of examples. I really am doing some pictures which make it interesting. I really like this slide.
Here are a few examples of shift responses. In our first example, Brandy says, "I'm feeling so starved." Joy, not showing concern for Brandy, just focuses on her.
Okay, so you can kind of see how that is. Here's a slide that I really like the balance of image and text. Keep your text to a very, very minimum. You want people to focus on what you say and not trying to read the slides. So that's it. Going into your group project presentation, I'm also going to release to you your the specifications for your oral presentation, so you can choose to start working on that, and you can work ahead as much as you want here. That would be a good thing. But today your mission is to reach out to your group and just say, "Hi, I'm excited to work with you," whatever you want. Maybe you can even focus in on a theme, so that way you have a head start and you can really set yourself up for success here. We do have groups that wait until the last minute on that fourth week, the weekend, to work on their entire presentation, and they end up being very stressed out, and they end up all kinds of problems. Yeah, don't do that to yourself. So just start right now. Get everything going. You can divide up the work however you want to. It's a minimum of 12 slides, maximum of 18 slides. So most groups have 4 to 5 people in them. You might say each group member, you'll take 3 slides apiece. That would get you 15 slides. And then you choose somebody to go over it and refine it and make sure it fits all the standards according to the rubric. So I hope you have a great week. I'll be in touch.